Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the Brass Ass Podcast. Yes, I am your host, Suitcase Ace. You know what? I got a good one here for you today. How to improve what you can control, and that is the mental, the hockey player's mental toughness template. And I put this to my players. It is the mental part of the game. It's so important. I tell my players before each game that you got to go to bed tonight, start imagining something that you do good out on the ice. It all comes down to your preparation. It comes down to the mental part of the game, and that's what I want to talk about today. In hockey, folks, both individual skill, I know that, skill development and mental bravery are crucial, right? And neither can be considered definitely more important than the other. A successful hockey player, folks, really needs a strong foundation in both areas to really reach their full potential. Well, the physical skills and technical abilities, folks, are essential for execution. The mental toughness, right, allows players to perform under pressure, make those quick decisions and maintain focus, all vital for success in that fast-paced world of hockey, folks, right? So on the Brass Ass, YouTube podcast episode today, let's take a dive into the cutting-edge mental toughness strategies to improve your mental game and perform more consistently, right, in the game of hockey. So here we go. You know what, folks? The mental game in hockey is crucial, with some even estimating it accounts for about 90% of a player's success. It involves focus, concentration, and a positive attitude, all of which can be trained, right, and improved, just like the physical skills. Players who master the mental aspect, folks, can better handle pressure, overcome adversity, and maintain consistency. And as hockey players, right, we all know that the game can be really unpredictable. Like a lucky bounce, a referee's call can really throw a wrench into the best laid plans that anybody has. Yet, during the course of the chaos of the sport, one truth still remains, and that is the key to consistent success really lies in mastering what you can control. I want to share 5 important ways, folks, to take charge of the controllable elements of your hockey game and elevate your mental performance on and off the ice. And number 1, folks, is what I'm talking about. The tiredness or the moodiness, or is what is so important is your preparation is your edge. You got it. Use it. Control. Begins long before you step onto the ice. By the way, how well you prepare really determines how confidently you perform. So you got to ask yourself, did I get enough quality sleep to feel rested and sharp? Have I fueled my body with the right foods to maintain that energy? Did I take the time to visualize scenarios I might face during a game? So look at preparation, folks, isn't just physical, it's mental too, right? Building, solid routines really ensures you to step into every game and practice ready to compete at your best. So an action step to take care of what I just talked about is develop, folks, players, a consistent pregame routine that includes rest, nutrition, hydration, and the mental preparation you need to commit every single time you start heading to the rink. Another thing, folks, you got to dominate your attitude. While you can't control the score or the other team's skill level, you can control your attitude. A resilient mindset really keeps you in the game regardless of the circumstances. Replace self-doubt with self-talk that fuels your confidence. Like, For instance, instead of thinking, I can't afford to make a mistake, you tell yourself instead, I give my best effort and adapt as needed, right? So an action step to go towards, I just said again now, is develop now. A good thing is a slogan. Repeat, so you can repeat it during the high pressure moments, such as, stay present, stay strong, something like that, right? Use it to recenter your focus, when adversity hits. Now, also something, folks, is be intentional with your effort. Players, you got to listen up. Effort is entirely within your control. Hustling back on defense, finishing your checks, or digging in during a tough shift doesn't depend on talent or luck. It's all about your will to compete. Bottom line, great players, folks, consistently outwork their competition, even when the odds aren't in their favor. I always say, the hardest working players are going to go far in the game of hockey. Effort is contagious, and what can shift? It could shift the momentum in your favor. So another action step you got to take, folks, during every game, what you got to do is you got to set micro goals, like winning puck battles or making clean passes to keep your effort measurable and focused. Now, another thing here, folks, is you got to master your response to adversity. Because every game presents challenges, turnovers, penalties, and bad breaks happen all the time. What separates elite players, folks, from the rest is how they respond. Rather than, let's say, dwelling on mistakes, focus on the next play, right? A short memory is really crucial for maintaining composure and confidence in your game. So another action step towards there, folks, is use a reset ritual to bounce back from your errors, right? Such as, tapping your stick on the ice or taking a deep breath to clear your head, right? And another one here is important, folks. Build mental resilience through daily habits. Mental toughness, folks, isn't developed overnight, by the way. It's built through consistent habits that train your brain to perform under pressure. Meditation, visualization, and journaling are powerful tools to improve focus, reduce anxiety, and reinforce the positive mindset. So these practices, right, that I'm giving you as a tip, allow you to stay sharp and composed, even in high-stake games, right? Another action step towards what I just said, dedicate, folks, players, 10 minutes a day to a mental performance practice, right? For example, visualize a perfect shift, or write down three things that you're grateful for. My final thoughts towards this mental toughness template, folks. Mastering what you can control isn't just about improving your game. It's about unlocking your potential as an athlete and as a person. And by focusing on preparation, folks, attitude, effort, responses, and resilience, you can create, I'm telling you, a solid mental framework to thrive in the game of hockey, no matter what the scoreboard says. And remember, the best players aren't just the physically skilled players. They're mentally sharp, right? And start mastering the controllables today, folks, right? Players, and watch your game transform. I'll tell you why. Success starts in the mind and way long before you head to the rink. There you have it, folks, on a hot July summer day. You know what? We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You know what, folks? I am your host, Suitcase Ace. You have just listened to the rest of the story.